We may be having some technical difficulties since it is retrograde. You can see my little light here, so just ignore this. Let's see if we can change it so it's not a distraction. Empaths have enough distractions, right? Ooh, look, there it is. Okay, I hope this is going. I can't tell. So, I'm just gonna wait until I can see someone's on here because it disconnected me and then connected me again. So I'm not sure. Okay. So today is about the empath and hi, Jay, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for giving me the heads up because it doesn't look like it's working, so I can see that it is now. We're going to be talking about the empath and the narcissist. Hi, Morgan. And I also want to say anyone that comes on, can you hear me okay too, you guys? Let me know. Anyone that comes on, if I don't see you, it goes up pretty quickly and I have to kind of stay focused or I lose my frame of thought because then I start engaging into your energy and I'm like, hi. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the empath and the narcissist, and this is such an important topic, and people are asking me all the time, and I don't talk about it very often because the narcissist is probably one of the most triggering topics for me because the narcissist is the direct, thanks Jay, I appreciate that, is the direct opposite of the empath. Okay. Again, that there's a low network connection. If by chance this does not, it disconnects, I'll come right back on and we'll get her done. Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank everyone for being on this page. This is so awesome. It's very helpful and it is a great support. We're hearing a lot of things. We haven't even been up a month yet. And we've had 8,000 interactions on this page alone in like 27 days, which is unheard of. It's wild. So keep it up. We really appreciate it. You guys are supporting each other. This is a place where you can come, ask your questions. I am doing trainings. Right now there's a survey on the page that we want to get 100 surveys because we really want to know what people want to learn because that's what we're really going to focus on. There's so many things to teach about being an empath and being an empowered empath. So we're just kind of narrowing it down. So if you haven't filled out the survey, it is on this page. Go ahead and do that. And then my husband, Jack, which is like one of the most amazing hypnotherapists on the planet, we'll send you a hypnotherapy recording to help you feel awesome through this cosmic shit show. It's not a shit show for everyone. So what we are hearing is that a lot of people are having some peace and calm and a lot of energy, so that they're having a lot of energy to do things. And on the flip side, we're hearing that some people are really struggling and feeling like a little nutty. So it depends on when you're born. Again, I've said this a million times, I'm sure you've heard me say it, is that the cosmos is electromagnetic and so are our bodies. And that means when there's a shift in the cosmos here, there's a shift in the cosmos here. So sometimes it's fantastic and sometimes it feels terrible. Hi, Christy, love ya. Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty. First of all, there are a lot of people on this page that have never met me or have not been on the red couch. So I'm just gonna share a little bit about myself and my husband, practitioner. So we are brain specialists. We've been in business probably 11 going on 12 years. And what we have found in our practice is that most people that come to the red couch are either highly sensitive, HSP, or empath. Which it shouldn't have surprised me because like attracts like. I am a full-blown empath. I am a healer in our practice. So we have a practice where we teach people how to use their brains to create the life they want and manage their energy while they're doing it so that they can feel freaking fantastic. And that's what we spend our life doing. Once we realized that there was this missing chunk, this big missing chunk of teaching empaths how to keep their energy managed and how to learn how to be an empowered empath, we were like, oh my God, we've got to start doing this. So here's the page, and we're really speaking to how to manage energy and how to deal with being an empath. And one of the biggest distractions for empaths is the narcissist, which is also considered an energy vampire. But to many empaths, they would say that the narcissist is the destroyer of the empath. And I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the levels of empath, because empaths are all on a spectrum, and narcissists are also on a spectrum. So I'm going to talk about the 3 levels on each spectrum, and then I'm going to talk about how narcissists view themselves and how they view the empath. Knowledge is power. When you have the knowledge, you can continue on your path and not get distracted. So I don't know how long this live is going to be, but it's going to be freaking awesome, because I'm going to give you some information that's going to give you something to think about. But the very first thing I want you to do is I just want you to close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths and put on your shield. We're going to be talking about something that could be very triggering for you as well. So when I say put on your shield, I just want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Good. And I just want you to imagine a light shield, any color that you choose, or slits in your shield, as those slits are going to allow you to let all the yummy, yummy energy in. The joy, the happiness, the gratitude, everything delicious that you want, while keeping the negative out, especially as we talk about this very charged topic of narcissists. I put on the page last night a GIF that said, oh shoot, now I can't remember. It was about an educated empath is a narcissist's biggest nightmare, which is actually very true. The more educated that you are, the more you have to, okay, so Jay, you said squirrel and I looked at that. Thank you so much. So now I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, pulling it back. Oh my God. Okay. So when you are an educated empath, the narcissist will absolutely feel it and run for the hills. So here's something that's interesting: is a lot of people think that narcissists are not afraid. They are. They don't have low self-esteem. People that think that are just not as fully educated about the narcissist, because they absolutely are the most fearful people on the earth. They are so afraid of not being seen as perfect, as superior, and as in control, that's why they become the narcissist. Now, I want to talk about science for a minute, because I've already talked about the empath and how the empath has overactive mirror neurons in the unconscious brain, which allows them to receive more information. Therefore, they have these amazing gifts and they can see, feel, and experience everything deeper. Well, science is beginning to show that the narcissist has underactive mirror neurons. So many of us through the years have thought, oh, narcissists are just damn evil people and we got to stay away from them. But it's very possible that they can't control their narcissism, just like we can't change being an empath. So the best advice I can give you is narcissists are not the best for empaths, so we could avoid those kind of relationships unless you're in one, or you've probably been in one in the past, which is super, super common, right? So let's talk about the empath and the levels, the 3 levels of empath. You have your empowered empath. Now that's the empath that is very self-aware, and I made lots of notes so that I don't forget something, because this is really, really important. Okay, this is the self-aware empath. This is the empath that has the freedom to make the choice not to help, because sometimes empaths are like, I have to help someone. This is the empath that's very self-aware, very empowered, and has a choice to not help if they choose not to. And the reason is this, is we can overload ourselves by doing too much and getting pulled into all of that. So what I want to really stress to you as an empowered empath, you are a person that gets to learn that the universe has everyone else's back, and that means if you don't have the ability to step in and help somewhere, it's okay, because the universe is going to make sure that that person that you feel like you need to help is going to have what they need. It's not your job. The most awesome thing about being an empath is just you being an empath means you are a healer on this planet. Just your presence is helping to lift the vibration and heal the world. It doesn't mean you have to go out on a big scale and teach people. It doesn't mean you have to go out and be a hands-on healer. It doesn't mean that you have to do these big grandiose things. All it means is you want to get in touch with yourself. Make sure that you have the energy that you need and live a life of joy. And when you feel so called in an energized way, that is when you can reach out and help. The wise and empowered empath also knows that oftentimes empaths have a tendency to step in too early to help someone, which robs another person of an opportunity of coming into their own empowerment. Okay, this is the empowered empath. I want to make sure that I gave you all the stuff I had written down, so let me look here. Okay, also, my phone battery is dying so fast. Let me figure this out really quick. It was at 40% and now it's at 10%, which is scary, which is therefore an empath experience. I'm undoing the lighting so I can plug you in so I don't lose you. Okay. Let's see. Did we get it? Okay, here's another thing to understand about empaths. Can I move these? There, now I can see myself and I can focus better. I love you guys, but reading your messages makes me go a little unfocused. So also the empowered empath is an empath that does not feel crippled by looking at the shadow or their ego, okay? And it doesn't mean that they aren't going to take a look at it and clear the things that need to be cleared. That's just part of being an empowered empath, is recognizing where you have some issues, where the shadow is coming in. Now, folks, I want you to remember, let's talk about the shadow for a minute. Everything is a spectrum, even your own brain. So the shadow and the light, it all creates balance. So if you're trying to eradicate every ounce of shadow that you have, you're going to be being distracted for the rest of your life. Really accepting that there's parts of the shadow there, and when they're made clear to you and there's aspects of it that you're like, I don't really want to operate from that place anymore, that's when you do the clearing work. That's why Jack and I do what we do with the brain, is that we help people clear and literally remove the neural pathways of the parts of the shadow, the stories, the ego, the things that you tell yourself about yourself in the unconscious brain that are not serving you as an empowered empath. So that is the empowered empath, is noticing all of that stuff going on and being like, yeah, this is part of who I am and it's okay. Okay? So we're going to move into the middle empath, which is where a lot of empaths live. And this is where they're so eager, and they're what we call the proud helper. So they're eager to help groups of people. They're activists. They feel deeply. They want to get out. They've got a lot of power, and they can read people's emotions. They can help. They can say the right thing, but then they start feeling like drained. And they start feeling pissed because they're not getting any recognition and people are using them. And this is what happens to the middle line. And the middle line, you either get to choose to be heading down to the lower part of being an empath because of like resentment and anger, or you can choose to move into the empowered empath and know that the universe has got everyone's back and everything's going to be okay. And your job is to work on you and be the best empath you can be, because that in itself heals the world. So you get the choice, right? Am I going to be the empowered empath, or am I going to move down to the unempowered empath? And that's what we call the codependent empath. And the codependent empath is the empath that's like, I am looking to rescue, I need to heal someone, and it's a focus usually on one person. It's almost pathological and compulsive. It's like, I have to help, I have to help, I have to help. This is the empath that's going to suffer a lot, because they're not going to be able to accomplish what it is. Everyone has their own path, and once you recognize that, it's so much easier to let go. Now, as we're talking about the levels of being an empath, it doesn't mean, oh my gosh, something's wrong if I'm in the codependent level or I'm in the middle level. All it means is you are on a learning spectrum where you're just moving forward, and all of us want to live as empowered empaths. I have lived in every one of these places. The codependent empath life sucks because you're depleted all the time, you feel like you don't matter, things aren't working the way you want to. And then I moved into a bigger place. It was like, oh, I can really help do this. And so I spent a lot of my time doing group work and activism and all these things to help change the world. And then what I found is, God, I'm never appreciated. I'm wearing myself out. And then when I came into the I'm an empowered empath and an educated empath, I began to understand the law of the universe, that everyone is here and that the empath is here as a healer just by being an empath. And then when you feel recharged and happy, you can go out and fulfill your mission in an in-charged, empowered way. Okay, so this is just a really quick overview. I could talk on each one of these things for an entire hour, but we don't have that much time. So now I want to move into the narcissist. I had to write this down because this is so important. So narcissism is also on a spectrum. And I'm going to talk about the 3 levels of narcissism, because knowledge is power. Once you have the information on the narcissist, you know what to do. My suggestion is, when you encounter a narcissist, walk away. Narcissists, you cannot change their mind. You cannot change their behavior. You cannot go in and get them to see where they are not doing things correctly. They don't have the ability to see it. And if you try, you're usually into a very big fight where they can use their manipulative tactics to make you feel crazy. It's called crazy making or gaslighting. It feels horrible. It creates self-doubt. It's a wild journey, and it can be very, very destructive to the empath. So this is why I'm doing this video, so you have the information about the narcissist. So let's talk about level 1, which is the self-promoter, okay? The self-promoter is the narcissist, and it's kind of the beginning areas of the narcissist where they get to like choose, am I gonna go into full-blown narcissism? Or am I gonna like see that maybe I'm not this flawless superior race, right? Okay, I'm just noticing what's going on with my connection here. Okay, we're back. Okay, so they have this deep fear of not being relevant, and I can't remember. Someone today said on a post that narcissists are not afraid. And I'm telling you, they've got a lot of fear. Their whole psyche is created on a structure of fear, but they don't project fear. In fact, moving into the second one, they turn the fear off, the shame, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but they'll brag about themselves, and they even get into sometimes to lying, being deceitful and things like that. One of the things about the self-promoter is that they get disappointed really, really easily. So once you disappoint them, then they're very dismissive and they will devalue you, which is a very big shock, because before, and we're going to talk about relationships and how they act in relationships. Before that, they're usually just so charming and so amazing. You're like, my gosh, where'd this person come from? And then all of a sudden there's a little bit of disappointment and they're like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Or they begin to do things that make you feel dismissed, devalued, and it's extremely painful, especially for the empath, because we don't operate from that level. So it always hits us like, what's happening? And then you start doubting yourself and having all these weird energetic experiences. It's almost like someone's smiling at you with a knife in their hand and you're like, what's happening, right? So when you get the self-promoter, then you're moving into the next level, which we call the detached manipulator or the trickster, okay? This is the narcissist that has the need, it's a necessity for the advantage. And you're moving in from a desperate need for admiration to that person needs the advantage. And this is where they truly project the fact that they believe they are superior, and they shut off the parts of their brain that exhibit shame, guilt, empathy, compassion, all of the things that make us up as empaths, especially empathy and compassion. Of course, we don't want guilt and shame, but we're very aware of those emotions. They don't seem to have those anymore. They're in the unconscious mind, but they have shut that part of the brain off, and then they are like this with having to have the advantage. This is where they lie. They believe they're entitled. They're manipulative. They will trick you. They'll say exactly what you need to hear so that they can get exactly what you want, because they are here to exploit you. Okay? You cannot change their mind. You cannot wake them up. You cannot point out a very direct point, because they will turn it around so it makes you feel nuts. Okay? This is what happens. And then, I'm not going to move to the third one yet. I want to talk about relationships and how they act in relationships in this level too. So in relationships, this is where they discard you. They banish you if you don't do what they want. Or they begin to attack in manipulative, cunning, lying means, okay? This is where a lot of narcissists live, in this place. But then you have the rare breed that moves into psychopath. And that's where I'm going to go next with this. One thing I do want to tell you is a lot of people associate sociopaths and narcissists together. There's a difference between the two. The narcissist is kind of the unaware manipulator, and the sociopath is a very cunning, intelligent, manipulative person that is doing things very purposely and very directly. So you definitely can have the narcissist and sociopath in one person, but not all narcissists are sociopaths. So that's just something to keep in mind. I hear it all the time when people get a divorce or whatever. They're like, oh, he's such a narcissist because he's so selfish. Selfishness isn't really what narcissism is about. As you can hear, it is a personality disorder, and what they're now finding is that they're really wondering, because they're seeing that narcissists have underactive mirror neurons. And again, the mirror neurons of the brain are the part of the brain where you empathize and can mirror what you're seeing, so you can feel for other people or with other people. And on empaths, we have overactive mirror neurons. So we feel and then pull the energy into our body. So we are the opposite end of the spectrum. You got your narcissist and your empath. So when you move into the psychopath, this is the narcissist that is the bully. They will take you to court. They take pleasure in your pain. They will slash your tires. They will do all kinds of negative things to you to try and hurt you because it brings them joy. This is, I can't say it brings them joy, because true joy is not that. But to them, it feels like, oh, this makes me feel good. This makes me feel happy. That's the psychopath. And this is rare. This is not something that every narcissist moves into. I have happened to experience two of the most gnarly narcissistic sociopaths ever in my life. And when that happened, I did not know what the hell hit me. And it wasn't, I could see what was going on, so I wasn't being pulled into being trapped by these people. This was a married couple. I'm not going to go into details about who it was because that's irrelevant. But what I do want to tell you is they use tactics to get and try and control. That's what it is. And that's why narcissists and empaths attract each other, because you have a narcissist that's all about control, and the empath just wants to heal and love and support, and we love the people that are hurting. We can see they're hurting, and so we go in there to try and heal, and they're like this. And then you have a huge distraction in your life that is preventing you from living as an empowered empath, and we don't want that. I want to give you an awareness so that you can say, this person's constantly talking about themselves, never asks me a question, and I'm starting to wonder about this personality type. Well, now what I want to go into is I want, oh, wait a minute. There might be something here that I have forgotten. Let me just look really quick. Just give me 1 second. Okay, no, there isn't. So I want to go into the self-view of the narcissist, and then I want to go in how they treat empaths, okay? So the narcissist, and I made a huge list, so I'm just actually going to read the list of things to watch out for. Their self-view of themselves. They feel superior, excellent, entitled. They have poor boundaries. They expect special treatment, and they feel like they're more favored. They have fantasies of unlimited success, and that nothing's going to get in their way no matter what happens. They don't recognize, if they're not recognized for their achievements, they lose their shit, okay? Let's see. They are so completely resistant to their own personal blocks and failures. They can't even fathom that they have any blocks or failures of any kind. So anytime a narcissist does something to you to hurt you, you could be like, hey, this really hurt me. And immediately they'll turn it on you because they cannot fathom the fact that they're not a superior being. And I know you narcissists that have been in a relationship, you know what I'm talking about. And it makes you feel crazy because then you do start questioning yourself, because we are willing as empaths to go in and take a look at our blocks. We are willing to go in and see if we're doing something that maybe we need to get back into alignment with, because we're willing to see that we're not perfect people. So see how it works? It's just crazy how it works. But when you become aware of this, you can say, nope, that is not right. That is not right. You turning this on me, I will not accept that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, they retaliate by projecting their nasty behavior on others and using humiliation because they refuse to own their weakness. Hi, babe. So the truth is that they feel completely worthless and completely ashamed. Okay, that is how the narcissist views themselves. So let me tell you how the narcissist views the empath, or how they relate to people in relationships. This is what they do. They idolize the person they want to be in relationship. So they will compliment you, talk to you, buy you gifts, take you to dinner, brag about you. They will be so charismatic and just so charming, you won't even know it hit you. You're like, this is a dream. It's what I've been looking for all this time. And then what happens is, because they're so easily disappointed, guess what? Then they turn and become dismissive, which is so devastating. And then of course we are like, what did I do? I must have done something. I wasn't aware of something. Tell me what I did. And then they'll tell you what you did wrong. You'll believe it, and then you'll try to change. And then when you do it their way, they'll do it again. They'll praise you and do this and this. Then they easily become disappointed again, and you go through it over and over until you're so broken down you don't know whether to itch your watch or wind your ass. And I'm just going to be totally frank with you here. This is so serious. I want you to know, as an empath, you are an amazing being on this planet that is here to do amazing things for yourself and to help others. But when it comes to a narcissist, this knowledge is absolutely essential for you to understand, so you do not get lost and get in this destructive relationship. And it doesn't have to be a love relationship. It can be friendships. It can be parents. So I want to talk just a little bit about that. Let me make sure that I have gotten everything that I want on this. One thing to remember is that they will inflate you and then deflate you. It's a really simple term, like inflating to deflating. Don't forget that. Inflating to inflating or deflating, and that they will devalue you. Let's see. Okay, we already talked about this, but I just want to reiterate that you will start doubting your own judgments and your own perceptions, and that's the result of it. So what if you're in a relationship with someone like that right now? Or what if it's your parents? What if it's a friend? This is what I can tell you. Boundaries are critical. Boundaries are the hardest things for empaths to make, because when you set a boundary and you tell someone what that boundary is, you can feel if it hurts their feelings, and you hate the way that feels, right? So sometimes we just self-defeat and we're like, no, it's fine. I don't want to hurt their feelings. If you don't feel solid in your boundaries, then it's time to break the relationship. It's that simple. I'm not kidding. It is not simple to do all the time, but it is essential for your well-being and for you as an empowered empath. Set those boundaries and stick to them if you can't break the relationship. And sometimes that means parents. Sometimes that means friends. Sometimes that means a spouse. Set boundaries. And we're going to be talking more about boundaries, and we're going to be talking more about all of this stuff, but this is going to give you a lot to think about as an empath. But remember, it's the 3 levels of empaths. You're going to want to get into an empowered empath place. It takes practice. You're not just going to do this perfectly tomorrow, and it's okay. But keep your eye open for the narcissist, because that's one of the biggest energy vampires you're going to run into. And there's many of them out there, and they really enjoy controlling empaths, and it energizes them. So, yeah. That is all the information. It was a lot of information in a short period of time. If you want, just rewatch this again. If you have any questions for me on this strand, I moved all of your, let me see if I can pull them back over. Marilyn, hello. Natalie, hi. Abby, hello. Sharon Ann, Jody, Morgan, Michelle. Sorry guys, I had to move you over so I couldn't see you because I get so distracted with everyone's energy because I just want to hug all of you. Hi Pauline. So if you have any questions about narcissism on this strand, send them in. We're going to be talking about it. I don't talk about it very often because it's such a triggering topic for me and everyone else, but the knowledge is super powerful, and it's very, very important that you understand this. So as you're moving forward in relationships, because empaths want heartfelt, heart-connected relationships. That's what they want, but a lot of times they're like, no, I can't do it. And I'm sure most of you have been in some pretty nasty narcissistic relationships. So any questions, please leave them here on the strand. I will answer them as soon as I can. We're just getting ready to head into the office for the rest of the night for clients. And I just want you to know that my job is here to give you the knowledge to be an empowered empath and to really understand your gifts and to manage your energy and to take self-care and to recognize that you are definitely a healer on this planet. You are here to have joy just as much as the joy you bring to other people. So I love you guys. Have a great rest of your full moon day and your retrograde, and there are solar storms and all kinds of cosmic things going on. If you feel really great, I'm so glad. That is what I want for you. If you feel really shitty, it's gonna pass. Trust me, it gets better, and you're gonna have little flickers of bliss in between all the yucky, okay? Okay, everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you for the next training, whatever that is. We'll see. Bye.